Yo, what's happening, everybody? So it is another video of me defending myself and all the lies and criticisms going around about me right now. And there's been a lot. Since the last video though, I have got married to my amazing, beautiful vegan soulmate, Nikki Aspey, and she's over here. Yeah, she's living her best life, as you can see. And we are in Panama right now. That's a whole nother story. I'll tell you about that in another video. So I've got a few videos coming out right now. This video, I'm going to be talking about the wild allegation of James Aspey being a puppy killer. Freaking ridiculous. The second allegation that I will be handling in my next video or another one of these videos is James Aspey a racist, anti-Semitic, white supremacist? Because a lot of people are saying that I am. And the third video is about donations where are the donations going that go to me? I'll very much enjoy explaining everything to you all. So, first video, this one. Is James Aspey a puppy killer? I'm gonna explain this story as quickly as possible, and I've reached out to an organization in Bali to help me discuss this. But I'll tell you the story real briefly. So, I was in Bali with Nikki. I nearly stood on a little puppy that I didn't see. This little puppy was like thriving and moving. We ended up naming her Tempeh, so let's use her by her name. Tempeh. We find Tempeh. We're like, what's going on? Everyone's just around laughing at this puppy. We're like, what the hello, this isn't funny. There's a puppy just here by herself. Where's the mum? Oh, they said, we don't know where the mum is. She usually hangs out here. There's been a huge amount of rain and we don't know where she is. I'm like, all right. They go, yeah, she brought the puppy here and she bailed. I was like, all right, well, we're not leaving the puppy with you because you guys don't care. This puppy's literally on the ground. I nearly stood on her. So here's my number. Call me if the mum comes back. And they're like, yeah, there's other puppies. And we're like, okay, where? And they're like, yeah, we don't know. And anyway, it was weird and kind of crazy. And there's a language barrier. So anyway, I'm like, what are we gonna do? I reached out to a couple of Bali dog rescue associations. I also reached out to a vet. The vet is like, this puppy is probably not gonna live. You're gonna have to work very hard to keep this puppy alive. We're like, and he's like, where's the mum? We're like, well, we know where the mum lives, we think, and we're gonna go back and try to get her and try to, you know, unite them so that the mother gets the milk to the baby. He's like, okay, in the meantime, use a formula. So we're like, cool. So we go buy a puppy formula. When and he's like, you got to feed this puppy like every 2 to 3 hours. We're like, no worries, sweet. We're down for the job. Like, let's try to save this puppy. In the meantime, we've heard back from one of the rescues. They're like, yeah, you know, we're like an hour away. This is about 8 o'clock at night. We're like an hour away. There's a mother here. And by the way, the vet has also said, be careful giving it to not the mother, because something about the smell of the babies, if it's not her baby, they might attack, and it's like a dangerous situation, especially for such a vulnerable little puppy. We're like, no worries. He goes, yeah, the milk will be fine. The formula will be fine in the meantime. We're like, cool. So this rescue reaches out. We've got a lactating mother, you know, responding to my story. I'm like, mad. And we're like, well, we actually got formula because we're hoping to find the mother either tonight. We're going to go again around like 11 o'clock at night, or maybe in the morning. And they're like, yeah, sweet as. And also, we didn't want to take this puppy on this long trip. And, you know, it just seemed like if we're about to get the mother, which we probably are, if that's where the mother lives, it's all good. The mum's going to be giving the milk to the baby very soon. So anyway, we're giving the milk to the baby every 2 hours. We start seeing, now I put all this stuff on Facebook, like, yo, help us out, what's going on? Who can give us advice, da-da-da. The Bali Dog Association, called Act for Bali Dogs, starts saying some suspicious shit on our social media, implying that we're doing the wrong thing by the puppy, that we should have given the puppy to them, even though they're like, yeah, you'll be sweet with the formula. So we're like, okay, cool. The vet has said that's cool. This association has said that's cool. Another association and a few other people. So, you know, I trust the vet more than anybody. I'll just go with this guy's advice. But they're starting to imply that we're doing the wrong thing and writing all these comments. And I'm like, what the hell are they doing? This is disgusting. And what's wrong with these people? okay, I'm starting to not actually trust these people now. I don't know them. I don't know if they do a good job for dogs or whatever. Like, just because they've got an Instagram that says act for Bali dogs doesn't actually mean anything to me. I'm just gonna stick with the advice of the vet here. The vet, oh wait. Anyway, I'm gonna cut to the end of the story for a second here, and then I'm gonna go back. We find out that we were totally right in our assumption that these people had questionable motives. Since then, we have spoke to another organization called Bark for Bali Dogs, who have been absolutely terrorized by these people who are sick in the head, and I have asked them to do a video about this and explain it from their own words. But basically, they are not to be trusted, and they are disgusting human beings. So I'll leave it at that for now. Okay, so what happened after that? We go back that night, we're looking around for it, we couldn't find the mum. We're like, fuck. Next morning, we go back. There's all these massage girls, like, cause that's where the shop is. So they're chilling out the front. We're like, yo, have you seen the dog yet? The mum. They're like, nah, we'll let you know. We're like, okay. We leave, and then they call us, and they're like, the dog's here. I'd given them my number and shit. They're like, the dog's here. We're like, yes. Oh my God, this is amazing. We race back, cause we're stressing. We're like, you know, we're giving this baby the milk, but we wanted the mum. Like, we knew that was important, so we were trying to get to the mum. And the real mum, not some random mum with some random people who we didn't trust. We also were hoping to find these other puppies that they had told us that may exist, you know? We get back, the mum's there, we're like, hold the mum when she gets back. So they hold her. So we race back on our scooters. The mum's there. We're like, oh my God, and such a beautiful mum, who we named Soy Soy. Then we find out that the puppies are underneath where everyone's sitting, underneath the concrete, through a sewer, like a disgusting, rubbish, trash-filled, gross as sewer. That's where the babies are. So I'm like, oh my God, okay, that is not a safe place for these babies. Obviously, I'm gonna have to go and get them. So I go into the gutter, which I have footage of. I'll probably add it right here.
James, be careful, please. My God.
Far away.
Gonna get stuck there. That's crazy.
Poor little dolly. Oh, fuck.
Fuck yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Superhero.
Well done.
Careful.
Hell yeah. That's true.
I go into the gutter, into the sewer. I climb through all of this trash. I find the babies. There's 3 babies there. One is already dead. One is very, very close to being dead, and the other is alive. I wrap them up in my towel that I had. I bring them out. In the short amount of time that it took for me to bring them out, the one that was close to being dead, because he or she looked very not well, died in the minutes that it took to get out of the sewer. But one was still alive, who we named Tofu. We're like, oh my God, okay, 2 are dead, that sucks, fuck. But one's alive. Let's race to the vet with mum and baby. We race to the vet. The vet is like, okay, this mum isn't, first of all, actually, we went home, which is, we needed to go home, we needed to get the other baby, we needed to like regroup and assess. We spent about 10 minutes there, we let them get a bit of milk, then we're like, well, let's go to the vet. So we go to the vet, which is like 5 to 10 minute drive. Go to the vet, we're at the vet, dude's like, mum is very sick. Did a bunch of blood tests and whatever, mum is sick. Listed a whole bunch of things. She's got a whole bunch of things in her skin that aren't good, like her blood isn't good. We're just like, oh, shit, okay. He's like, yeah, she can't breastfeed. I'm like, okay. He says, yeah, and she also wasn't eating. She also wasn't eating any food, wasn't drinking. He's like, she's sick, she needs to stay here. We're like, okay, so keep her, you know, we'll pay whatever it costs, just keep her, take care of her, we'll take care of the babies. He's like, yeah, again, the babies don't have a good chance. Puppies generally don't have a good chance, but good luck. You know, I'm here if you need me. We're like, cool. We asked, should we get a mother that's lactating? He says again, it's dangerous. If you use the milk that I've told you to get, you should be okay. It should be sweet. We're like, sweet as vet, thank you. You're the expert. I'm going with you, not a bunch of Facebook comments. I trust you, mate. Thanks. Like, that's the best opportunity. That's the best person I could trust in this situation. We go back home. For the next 4 to 5 days, we're feeding every single 2 hours, all night. Wake up 2 hours, 2 hours. We had our alarm set throughout every single day to do this every 2 hours. Okay, so it was a mission, it was hard work. People who do this all the time respect you, very hard job. We're feeding every 2 hours, we're buying all the things we need. We buy a heat lamp, we are taking the best possible care of these puppies. We're taking them to the vet pretty much every day. Yo, how they going? We're doing the things that you need to do to get them to urinate and go to the toilet, whatever. We're looking after them. They're feeding very well. They seem to be getting stronger, they seem to be growing. Everything's cool. All of a sudden, oh, and then, and the mum is starting to get better as well, but she's still at the vet. We went and visited a couple times, whatever. As we, all of a sudden, literally out of nowhere, because look, Tempe was kind of crying a lot, and, you know, she had like spots on her tummy. I was like to the vet, what's this? He's like, yeah, it could be this, it could be that. She just didn't look perfectly healthy from the beginning. Whereas Tempe, who was in the sewer, you know, for a whole day longer, actually seemed, so this is Tofu. Tofu was in the gutter for a whole nother day, seemed quite a bit healthier and stronger. He was having like constipation issues, but we were working with it. We were making it work. Anyway, Tempe, all of a sudden, Nikki's like, yo, I think something's wrong with Tempe. And then I look, I'm like, okay, if you think so, let's go to the vet again. So we boost to the vet. Vet's like, yeah, she's not looking good. You know what, I think it's best if I looked after her. Because he's seeing like, at first I think it was like, yeah, you aren't gonna be able to look after these puppies every 2 hours. Like, this is gonna be too much work. But we're like, nah, we'll do whatever it takes. So he saw how much we cared about these puppies. We're in there like every day. So when we come back, we're like, help us, what's happening? He's like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna take care of this puppy, just leave her with me. We're like, oh my God, you're a legend, thank you. Because, yeah, thank you, dude. So he takes her from us. We leave her with him. We go home, we're looking after Tofu. We get a message the next morning saying, sorry to tell you, but Tempe died throughout the night. And we're like, yeah, okay, what can we say? Like, we've done everything we were told to do. We've tried our absolute best to help this puppy, you know? Shit. By the end of it, Soy Soy's back with us. We have one puppy with us, and then our plan was to stick around in Bali for a lot longer, but we had a big opportunity that we needed to take. Very important opportunity to come to Panama and learn some things. I'll explain about that soon. This opportunity was something we felt necessary for us to continue doing our work in the best way possible. Taking care of the puppy and the dog would have been great, but also our lifestyle is that we move around a lot. We may not have stayed in Bali, whatever. It probably was better to pass them on to people who have a more stable lifestyle so that they can have a more stable family. And we didn't want them to get attached to us and then we'd be like, shit, we have to go. So we're like, all right, we're gonna pass these puppies on to people that we actually trust, which are bark for Bali dogs, not act for Bali dogs who are talking a bunch of crap about us. Bark for Bali dogs are legit. They come, it's a beautiful moment, everyone's happy, the dogs get along well with these new people. We're like sad to see them go, but happy that they're going to a very good place. And we helped them raise like $8,000 through a fundraiser I posted on my social media. Thank you very much, everybody who donated to that. You're all a bunch of legends. And that's gonna help them so much. That's a lot of money in Bali, and they're very, very, very grateful. So that's basically the story. It is not our fault that a puppy died, a sick puppy died. We did everything we could. We followed all of the vet's advice, and you can see I've explained everything that happened. People who are calling me a puppy killer are ridiculous. We're not puppy killers. People who think we don't give a shit about animals at this point are so deluded. How much do we have to do for animals? How many times do we have to talk about what's happening to animals? How many people do I have to influence to go vegan? I spend every single day doing this, thinking about this, talking about this, reading about this. We care about animals. We want the animal holocaust to end. I don't know how more obvious that could possibly be. If something like this happens, try giving someone like me who clearly cares about animals the benefit of the doubt. You know, that would be a more logical stance for you all to take. Obviously, this isn't everybody. I know a lot of you were like, good luck, James, best wishes. Oh, so sorry to hear, it's so sad. I've been rescuing puppies for years, and yes, this is very common, etc., etc. Everybody else, ridiculous. But thank you for the people who did support us. Thanks again for everyone who donated to Bark for Bali Dogs. This is one video of a few, like I mentioned, that I'm going to be clearing up a bunch of rumors about me. So stay tuned for the next one, which I'm going to make right now. Peace.
Hi everyone, I just want to say hello and thank you for your support, continuing support. My name's Linda Buller. I am the founder for Bark for Bali Dogs. Just to let you know, there is a group of people called Act for Bali Dogs. These people used to work for us and they left pretty disgruntled from Bark, our little charity in Ubud, because I brought a new manager in to pull things together, as I'm the CEO and that's my job to do that sort of thing. These two girls, one girl in particular, was pissed off to the max, left and took our intellectual property with her, took our Instagram, changed the name, had the passwords, called it Act for Bali Dogs, left all our posts on there, deleted our Facebook, Indonesian Facebook. And the reason I'm saying this now is because the abuse has not stopped. And you know, there's just so much a person can take. My character has been defamed. The character of our dog refuge has been defamed. Why would somebody, if they love animals, do that to another charity? I've got no idea and I don't know why. It was spread around that I was a moron, you know, an alcoholic. I have been in recovery in a 12-step program for 22 years. But I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink. I don't use drugs, you know, but I was completely defamed and abused. I had to go lawyers and they told me that I should take some action against them. I didn't do that because I knew that they had some dogs in their care and I didn't want to hurt the dogs. So therefore, I have only just managed the last 3 years to continue to feed our animals, and look after them, pay our staff. So it's been a real difficult time. These people, you can't trust them at all. I don't know. They're not registered as a charity or anything else. We are still an association in Australia. We're still able to fundraise. We're also registered as a yayasan, which is a charity in Indonesia. So please think about this before you go giving them any donations. I have not seen their dogs. I have not been invited to see their dogs. All I know is that everything has been built on a very dodgy foundation, which has been them contacting all our sponsors, telling them a whole lot of lies about my character, about, you know, making up stories that I'm an abuser, etc. Anybody that visits our sanctuary can see that that's totally, it's just fabrication, total fabrication, and this is what they're good at doing. So just be careful. I want the Instagram that they took from us back, and I want them to stop abusing us and spreading rumours and awful stuff. It's just wrong. And I'm just asking you guys to help out on this. Please don't give them any credit. What James did was spot on. You know, he took the dogs, crawled into a sewer to pull these puppies out. And when a dog has pustules, which is what the puppy had pustules on its stomach. This means that the puppy, either it has a immune system that's crashed, and also it could have distemper. I mean, you've got no idea what virus, and there's viruses everywhere in Bali. I was the first person to bring vaccines into that country. It's only been the last 10 years that we've, or probably less, that we've had vaccinations for. So many dogs still have viruses in Bali. Leave people who are doing something good for the world, leave them alone, you know, just stop it. You know, if you can't, you know, walk the high road, why bother? Just why bother?